Hey crafty people, it's Sasha. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button below. It would mean the world to me. Okay, so I've finally got my hands on the new Crackling Campfire Distress colour. It took me a while to get it because UK. But yes, I've now got my hands on it, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity to talk about the differences between Distress Inks and Distress Oxides, because I know it can be really confusing. I know it was confusing to me when I first started to explore stamping and inks and everything. I had no idea why they were different or what they were. Basically, they've got different properties. The Distress ink is more like a dye, and the oxide has pigment properties. That's sort of the simplified explanation, because distress inks and oxides are slightly different than your standard inks. They have different formulas, but you can see there the oxide is in the grey and the ink is in the black. So with oxide you can see the colour. It is the colour that it is going to be, because it's pigment. With dye ink, that's not the case. When you look at it in the ink pad, it does not look the colour that it becomes. So there's a difference straight away as soon as you look at them. Oxides tend to be easier to blend because they are a pigment, and also because they stay wet for longer. But distress inks are also very nice to blend. I started with oxides because they are certainly easier to blend, but there's sort of a trade-off with that. You get an easier blend, but they are not as vibrant as the distress ink would be, which is why I thought this was a really great opportunity to really show you the differences, because we've got the exact same colour. So I've got a piece of Nina here that I've embossed with the, I think it's like Falling Petals background stamp from My Favourite Things. I can't remember, I think it's Falling Petals, I'll have it linked below anyway. So I've embossed that in platinum, I think it is, from Wow Embossing Powders. Yes, it was platinum because I've got the platinum super fine. There, Floating Petals, I think that says. I can't read that. And platinum, that's very, very helpful of me to show that. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sheet, I am going to blend Distress Ink on one side and Distress Oxide on the other, so you'll be able to see the differences, and also sort of the differences and how they are applied to the paper. First off, this is a brand new blending sponge thing, so I did, and a brand new ink pad as well, so I did push it quite a few times to try and get a good amount of ink onto the sponge. So we start off the paper, and a glass mat is perfect for ink blending because it does help you to glide straight onto the paper. And yeah, you just go slowly and build up that colour a bit at a time. We're wanting to slowly sort of glide over the paper, because dyeing, if you just put that ink sponge, that sponge that's covered in ink, if you just place that onto the paper and then started to move, you would find it almost completely impossible to remove the like inked impression of where you started. That would sit, that would go straight into the paper, and you've got bob hope of sorting it. So that's why you start off the paper and you slowly go on and build up the colour bit by bit. As you can see, this new colour is just delicious. I love it. I think it might actually be my favourite of all of them. It's just stunning. I love it, and I think it looks beautiful on this this pattern as well, with the platinum embossing. Amazing. So clean up the glass mat to make sure there's no ink left on, and using a new pad. You can, whether you use sponges or brushes or anything, you need to make sure that you keep the ink and the oxide separate, because they won't mix too well. So yeah, it's important that you put a new sponge. Sorry, my computer is dying because it's broken, and the charge lead won't stay in. That's helpful. So you can see straight away that the colour builds up a lot faster with the oxide. It's strong colour straight away from the off. Also, they do blend easier, especially when you go to blending one colour into another. You will get an easier, smoother blend with the oxide, but you can get a really good blend with the Distress ink too. They're just different. They are different. Again, I'm having to hold the charge cable in, which is very frustrating. So you can see there, they're both the same colour, but they do look different. I always think of the oxide as being creamier. I don't know if that makes sense. In my mind, it makes sense. Yeah, it's creamier, and therefore it is a little bit of a muted version of the colour. It's not got, there's the ink. It's not got quite the same. It's just a muted version, like a creamy version. So there they are next to each other, and whilst I had everything out, I embossed another sheet, and I am going to do this one, a full panel blended between the Crackling Campfire, I think was it carved pumpkin, and honey, I think. I'll have it down below anyway. Between them, I like to do one end and then do the other end, and then add the colour into the middle. I just find that that's just easier personally to get a good blend. And these videos, they're sped up a lot. This is not how fast I blend. It takes a while. It takes some going to blend a full panel, but I just stick my music on and just get lost in the music and the beautiful colours and the repetitive motion of blending. And like, I don't include the sound in any of my videos, but just know that I am singing at this point. I am in my happy place, fully. Yeah. This is where I am calmest and happy, sitting with some beautiful colours and Taylor Swift on and singing along, and just, yeah, I love it. So I've now got the 3 colours on. You do want to overlap each colour to help blend, and then what I do is, once I've got the 3 on, I then go back through the other colours, just to help that get a better blend, and make sure that the colour is as intense as I want it to be. The good thing about doing something like this, because that pattern is quite it's quite busy, it does hide it a little bit if you don't get the perfect blend, so that's helpful. But yeah, if you go back over, as you can see there, that's smoothed it out considerably, between the Crackling Campfire and the carved pumpkin. So once I've got that all done, I'm going to show you how I turned that into a card, and I also, the other panel, the Oxide one. You know, no point wasting that. They are some beautiful little images, beautiful blends. So I also made cards out of them. So I'm going to show you here, really simply, the cards that I made. So yeah, just added a few die cuts and just beautiful. I love it. So if you haven't tried the Crackling Campfire colour yet, then I highly recommend it. It is gorgeous. Well done, Tim. Well done. So I hope you have a safe and happy week. Stay crafty. Bye.